Hello everybody! I think it's time for another raw and unfiltered video. I think it has been now maybe 2 weeks since I've recorded another audio. I'm sitting here looking in my garden and just recording audio. I needed to take a break, and I think that was I realized that when I read a comment of Chaos Hypnos. I don't know how he intends to have his channel name pronounced. Who's a really nice and smart guy, and he said that something around doing what's healthy for yourself, something like that. And I thought, I really have to take a break. I recognized that my mood was not too good. I was in a bad mood, to be pretty honest. And 2 weeks later, I am now at the point where I say, regarding my friend, I don't know if you remember, I do have a good friend that refuses to talk to me, and I have no chance of reaching him, and I don't know really what to do. And I decided I won't do anything, because it just drives me mad. And sure, agony is not acting is also a kind of an act in itself, but I hope that when he's ready, he's going to talk to me. I think I made clear in the messages I've sent that my door will always be open. So I'll leave it up to him to come and talk to me, because I think he really wants to talk to me. But for now, I have to sort out my issues, my trouble, and I cannot take the load of the whole world onto my shoulders, if you allow me that quote mining. And there are interesting things going on. Someone in my family just let me know in the past week that he feels urged to avoid contact with me and my family because we are a bad influence. And I could see, I will use the term "it" in order to not reveal the gender. I don't want to leave too many traces for now on to identify myself. Anyways, it was in a really challenging and very emotional situation, and made comments like, "I'm still a human being, and if you need a glass of water, you can come and get one, and yeah, sure, but at the end of the day, I don't want to talk to you anymore." And the funny thing is, that individual does not know a thing about the real reasons why we stopped attending meetings and stopped believing at the end of the day. I'm not sure if it's really strange to use the "it," but anyways, if it really grasps how severe our issue is. It knows about the Australia Royal Commission thing, and that's about it. And that is just a starting point. It has been just the starting point of our no, it's not the starting point. It was fuel for our doubts. It was another good reason to dig into what we really believe. Anyways, I decided to not be fearful, to not be depressed, to not be taken down by that whole situation, because there's so much beauty, so many nice things, nice people. We had so many good conversations that I think there is no reason to be sad, to be depressed, to be... yes, we've lost a lot. We've lost our panda-hugging future in the paradise. At least we can't believe in it right now. And I do not yet know what I believe. I do struggle with the concept of God. I really do. On my journey, I'm not sure if I told this before, but on my journey out, when it was clear to me that the J-Dub thing is not my thing anymore, that it just does not make any sense, I started to dig into other takes on Christianity, and it didn't work for me. I mean, it answered some of the questions that were opened by the JW doctrine, but it opened so many other questions. So I decided to start from scratch. I think I mentioned that before. And I've watched, I don't know how many debates. Honestly, mostly looking for certain atheist speakers like Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and I just recently watched, this very morning, I just watched, I think the first speech from Daniel Dennett, and he seems to be a pretty nice guy. A bit less, how can I say, aggressive. He gives me the gentle grandfather type of feeling, and I think that might be interesting if you're looking for ideas what to watch and you're not too comfortable with the more direct and aggressive ones. And I don't mean aggressive in a bad way, but in the more straightforward people like Richard Dawkins or Christopher Hitchens. Give Daniel Dennett a chance. It was very interesting to listen to him. I haven't read any books that he wrote, but I intend to do. But how did I come to this? The concept of God. So I decided to start from scratch, and I was listening to many debates, and I read a lot of stuff, and I'm still reading. I'm still struggling my way through the history of Western philosophy, which is a challenge because sometimes it's just boring. I mean, the old Greeks with very strange philosophical concepts. It's interesting because sometimes I saw an interview that Richard Dawkins had with a very gentle Indian guy who I think he was a philosopher. I don't remember his name. Anyways, he had a concept of the world that melted together the physical and the metaphysical world in a really strange way, and it somehow resembled. It reminded me of the Greek philosophy. I can't remember who brought it up, but that the only real thing is ideas. Strange stuff. Not my take. I have always been a pretty analytic and rational and some people might say dry guy. So I really tend to stick to the facts, and I think that was part of the reason why I just didn't dig too deep into the J-Dub doctrine, because maybe in the very back of my mind it was clear to me that this wouldn't stand up, and it didn't. I mean, I'm completely out. There is no doubt left. I know the way forward is without the Jehovah's Witness thing. That's 100% clear. I mean, I have so many reasons to know that this is wrong. And this somehow feels good, because you're not forced to believe strange stuff anymore, and it's a relief. Yes, the family thing hurts, and I'm certainly not saying that I'm in a very bad situation. I mean, if you go to for example, the Reddit part, the XJW Reddit part, and if you're new to the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, I recommend to go there, because they're interesting stories, and it helps you to understand that you're not alone, that there are many people in your situation. And what really hurts me is the young people, like teenagers or in their early 20s, that are literally thrown out of their homes because they stop to believe stuff. And yeah, sure, I understand. Some of them are teenagers. They are angry. They just want to sin. That's maybe what some people would want to say. Yeah, in the Jehovah's Witness perspective, they want to sin. But I do have hard times to consider it a sin what they want to do. I don't see it that way at the moment. But it really supports. And if you post something there, people are willing to help. People are very supportive. If you need advice, they will give you their takes. And you always have to understand there are angry people out there that will give you anger-based recommendations, but they're also very, very well rational and reasonable suggestions. So it makes sense. Anyways, I'm not too deep into that at the moment. I've taken a break from all the XJ stuff because it was like a, I don't know the English term, but if you have like a very heavy ball of steel tied to your leg, yeah, like in the old pirate movies where you prevented people from running away. It felt like that. Or like the concrete shoes that the nasty Italian gangsters have put on their enemies, and they have thrown them into lakes to suffer a horrible death. Yeah, it just has it has torn me down, and I didn't want that anymore. And I'm not watching too many of the XJW videos, especially the negative ones that are just bragging how bad life is and how evil the organization is and all that stuff. And I understand I had my time where this was necessary and this was a process that I had to go through. But at a certain point, you have to decide to stop it. Because for me, it was necessary to really understand, to ensure that I'm on the right track, that I know that it's wrong. You know, if you still have slight doubts in the back of your mind, better get rid of them. Because I think the worst situation you can be in is being out, but still having doubts. I think that kills you, and that kills your life, and that prevents you from moving on. And that's what I plan to do. I'm honestly, I'm pretty positive. I mean, let's face the worst case situation. There is no God. This life is the only one we have. And the only thing the future holds for us is an eternity of absence. And it's a scary thought. I admit that. But does it really impact the here and now, the today? No, it doesn't. If you take a walk and you enjoy the beautiful nature, does it make it just a little bit less beautiful? Not at all. The glass of wine that you enjoy in the evening when there is a nice summer breeze, does it make it less tasty? The view of your beautiful spouse or friend, or I don't know, whatever you look at, painting, is it less beautiful because there is no eternity where you can watch it? No, it's not. And that is something that I think is important to realize. And I don't intend that as a argument to stop you from digging, from researching. And if you find a new belief system or you stick to Christianity, fine. I'm not judging you, okay? Don't get me wrong. Absolutely fine. I haven't found anything that convinces me, but if it works for you, perfect. But don't be too scared if there is nothing. Focus on the positive things, because that is where your life will steer to. You will get more of what you focus on. And that has nothing to do with, I don't know, spiritual, anything, but it's just logic. If you let's take the hiking and mountain climbing example again. You're hiking a mountain and there is a steep cliff and you have to pass on a very narrow path. If you focus on, I could fall down, oh, I'm struggling and I might fall down, you will eventually fall down, because that is where your focus is. Set your focus on the positive things, the beautiful view and the nice challenging path, and that you're gonna make it, and be positive about it. Don't focus on what might happen and what could happen, and take security countermeasures for whatever you do in a reasonable fashion, but don't overdo, and don't focus on bad things that might happen. Yes, bad things do happen. That is life. But I try to focus on positive and beautiful things and enjoy the time that I have. And if it's only a couple of decades left, that's how it is. Me bragging and moaning about it is not going to change that. And as I said before, it does not make the beauty of today less beautiful. And we have, in the past weeks and months, we have experienced so many beautiful things. We had extremely good conversations with new friends that we are making, new friendships that we are establishing are so valuable to us. And if you manage to get rid of the world is evil, worldly people are bad and nasty and trying to trick you into something, if you get rid of that perspective, you can start to realize that there are more good people out there than bad people. Yes, if you read the news and if you see bad things happening, and there is bad stuff going on also in my country, and I'm very fortunate for the country I'm living in, which is a pretty safe place. But there's more good things happening than bad things. Don't focus on the bad things. Just don't. We have seen so many so friendly people that are just kind and gentle and friendly, without wanting anything back, without expecting payoff. Yeah? No selfishness, just friendly. I met with former colleagues, and I'm currently how can I say, reorienting myself also in a professional way. I've far too many things to work on than what's healthy. I think that was also part of what has kept me down and my mood low. But anyways, I got advice, and they were willing and still are willing to invest time and really help. And for what reason? There is no payback that they expect. It's just because they like me. And of course, I will do my very best to at some point give them back. because that's how it works. And that is something that you have to experience. But in order to be able to do that, to get that, refocus. Try to get to the point where you're sure that the old J-Dub stuff is nonsense, but it has been part of your life, and all the bragging and moaning won't change the fact that it has been a part of your life. But decide that it won't define your future. It will be a part of you in future. Don't get me wrong. But it's you who decide. And that is, I think, that is the of utmost importance for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. The power of decision has been taken away from you in so many aspects. What you can wear, how you groom yourself, whom you can talk to, what you can think, what you can read, what movies you can watch, what music you are allowed to enjoy, how you organize your life, what goals you set. If you have been a male, if you can have a beard or not. If you're female, what length your skirt is supposed to have. The power of decision has been taken away from you. And that is something that you have to take back. Nobody's holding it back from you, except for you. And that is so important to get it back. Yes, it is scary. Because as a Jehovah's Witness, other people have taken the decision. So it was the other people that you could blame for bad things that happened. And it was not, maybe it felt like you being less responsible. And now it's you who is responsible for success and failure in your life. But it's also incredible. I mean, it's you who can take the success. It's not, oh, I went 2 hours more into field service this month and that's why I got the job. You didn't get the job because you went into field service. You got that job or the promotion or that good dinner or whatever because you have been working for it. And that is the only reason why things happen. And if you have people saying, oh, I don't know, pioneered or went to where the need is greater and we got that beautiful apartment because Jehovah blessed us. That is nonsense. Nonsense. Think about it. Jehovah takes a break to organize an apartment for people that go into field service for a couple hours more, and he refuses to protect other people from bad things happening to them, people sitting in prison for preaching. I don't want to use the child abuse example in this scenario. I think it has been overused, and yes, it's a problem anyways, but just help me to wrap my head around that. No, you don't have to. I'm sure it's just nonsense. Understand that this is because you did something. You get stuff because you do something about it. Hunter-gatherer principle. You don't hunt, you don't eat. You don't gather, you don't eat. But if you hunt, if you go out, you can gain something. And there's a quote from I forgot who that was, but I can't perfectly remember it, but it goes along the lines of, if you go for a battle, you might lose. But if you don't go, you already lost. Go for the battles. Go for... It's not a battle. There is no fighting in your life, except if you want to. You can become a professional boxer, which is the the last point in the disfellowshipping of, or the reasons to form a judicial committee in the Shepherd of the Flock of God book. Don't become a professional boxer, just for your health. Anyways, take over your life. Take it back. Take the power of decision back for yourself. And yes, I'm sorry that I didn't do that more in the past, and I have taken many decisions on my own, and I've been pretty successful in my past. I'm currently struggling and have lost my focus because of so many things to work on in the past year. The past year has been the worst year of my life, to be very clear about that. But there will be good things in future, and there already are good things. And do something about it. I will do something about it. I will do something about things I don't like in my life, and I will change them. And you can do the very same thing. You just have to do it, and you have to take responsibility. Okay, now this went along a very interesting line. It has become... I didn't listen to it again. I'm just talking off the cuff. But from what I remember, what I just said in the past, 27 minutes, it became kind of motivational speech. But okay, I mean, I'm motivating myself by telling you that stuff. Let it motivate you. I would be pleased if it motivates you. Take over the responsibility for your life. I think that's the message of this video, and it just came here by accident. But I think it's a good message. It's a reasonable and meaningful message. I do have many ideas for other videos, for quick thoughts that I had, that came up during conversations that I had. Let's see if I do them. Maybe I will. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. And if it's not, I won't. And if it is, I will. And I think there's a certain idea in my head around explaining evolution to Jehovah's Witnesses that I really intend to do one day, because I think that is really an important thing. Anyways, I think I have to end it here. Let's see. We are close to 30 minutes. That's more than enough. I thank you for your attention. If you made it that far through the video, awesome. Thank you for listening. I would love to hear your comments. I am positive, and I want to share some of my positive energy that I found. Maybe I don't know if I found it. I decided to have it. I think it really is that simple. It's your decision. Anyways, I'm repeating myself. Take care of yourself. Take your decisions. Have fun. Work on it. I'm working on my spiritual journey. Not every day, but regularly. But only when it feels good, when I'm in the right mood. I don't force myself anymore. Don't force yourself. Except for getting out of the J-Dub stuff. Anyways, thank you. Close to 30 minutes. I'm dedicated to keep this below the 30 minutes mark. Thank you very much. Have a great time, and talk to you next time. Thank you for listening. Till next time.